My name is Kathy Flores, and you're watching the Economics for Dummies. Today is a beautiful day outside, and it's a great day to study macroeconomics. We're going to focus on fiscal and monetary policy. Right now, Nora is going to explain us the difference between fiscal and monetary policy. So join us.
Good morning, Kathy, and to you all. As Kathy said, I'm going to explain you about the difference between fiscal and monetary policy. I'll try not to make this difficult for you, so here we go. Fiscal policy is the use of government spending and taxes to adjust aggregate demand. Monetary policy is the use of money and credit controls to influence macroeconomic activity. So, back to you, Kathy.
So that was really interesting, Nora. I don't feel that dummy anymore. Now it's so clear for me. Now we're gonna hear Patty she's gonna talk about the tools of fiscal policy. So join us.
Hi, I'm going to explain the tools of fiscal policy. They are consumption, investment, government spending, net exports, and equilibrium. The consumption, as you know, is the expenditure by consumers on final goods and services. Next, investment is the expenditures or the production of new plant and equipment, so the capital, plus the changes in business inventories. And government spending is much of what the government spends, it's merely income transfers. It's the payments to individuals for which no services are exchanged. Next, exports, it's the exports minus imports. It's the difference between exports and imports spending. And finally, equilibrium, it's the combination of price level and real output that is compatible with both aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Back to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Patty. Now I understand the tools of fiscal policy. But now the question is, what are the tools for monetary policy? So Nora is going to explain us the tools of monetary policy.
Hello again. Right now I'm going to tell you a bit about monetary tools. There are three basic tools of monetary policy. There are reserve requirements, discount rates, and open market operations. Also, to get the basics for reserve requirements, you first need to get the available lending banking system by multiplying the excess reserves by the money multiplier. To get the money multiplier, you just have to divide 1 over required reserve ratio. By changing the reserve requirement, the Fed can directly alter the lending capacity of the banking system. And the causes of the changes in required reserves are a change in the amount of excess reserve and a change in money multiplier.
I'm going to explain the discount rate, which is the rate of interest charged by the Federal Reserve Banks for lending reserves to private banks. In order to maximize lending power, banks need to have a quick source of reserves. There are three sources of last-minute reserves. It's the federal funds market, the security sales, and the discounting. So, federal funds market is borrowing money from another bank with large reserves. Security sales is selling off government bonds. And discounting, which is borrowing directly from the Fed and by raising or lowering the discount rate. The Fed changes the cost of money for banks and therewith the incentive to borrow reserves.
So, the last monetary tool is open market operations. The most immediate method of affecting reserves is the principal mechanism for day-to-day alterations of reserve amounts. The portfolio decisions are money versus bonds. Open market operations are Federal Reserve purchases and sales of government bonds for the purpose of altering bank reserves. And that's it.
Wow, that was an amazing explanation. Thank you, Nora and Patty. Now we understand perfectly the monetary and fiscal tools and their difference. Now we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve are banks that there are 12 banks in various regions. Each acts as a central banker for private banks in a region. The main function of the reserve banks is to provide currency, to provide loans, to hold bank reserves, and to clear checks between the private banks and the Federal Reserve Bank. The last subject is the limits of macroeconomic policy.
Monetary policies have several limitations and may not always work as intended. One reason is that the monetary policy is not the only thing affecting output, employment, and prices. There are many other factors affecting the aggregated demand and supply, and therefore the economic positions for enterprises and firms. Some examples are trade-offs and time and banking system and external circumstances. I'm gonna talk about trade-offs. The Federal Reserve may lower interest rates to stimulate the bank lending and to increase the economic consumption. However, lowering interest rates introduce to inflation. In time, fiscal policies takes time. In some cases, the market may self-correct or grow wrong in the time it takes to feel the benefits. The banking system, the development of banking system will also affect the policies, like an undeveloped market and weak banking practices. Or sometimes citizens have no trust in the banking system, which it leads to few deposits and limited financial system. External circumstances. The economic structure of countries may inhibit the success of any monetary policy. Another circumstance may include the economic collapse of a neighbor country, like for example Greece. Another example explaining how monetary policy decisions can go wrong is, imagine the case of deflation, which is much more difficult to control than inflation rate. In a country facing deflation, the best a central bank can do is to reduce its policy rate to 0, but it cannot stimulate the economy beyond that. So that's a limit. That's simple. That's the limit of fiscal and monetary policy.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something, because I did. Enjoy summer because it's summertime, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye!